My name is Carol Carroll. I am the Hybrid IT Portfolio Lead for Europe and the owner of our digital sovereignty offerings in Europe. Organisations have always been concerned about resilience and the ability to operate in spite of any threats and disruptions that may be on the horizon. But digital sovereignty has caused a need for organisations to really accelerate how they look at their control and resilience across their whole ecosystem. The urgency comes from legislation in other countries that calls into question: how stable are my operations and my technologies? Are they free from influence? That legislation is relatively new, but it has been used in some cases to disrupt operations, disrupt technology. What this means is organizations are now questioning, and they need to provide answers back to their boards and to their customers about how sovereign they are, about how free from foreign influence they are. So essentially it's an acceleration of a normal topic. How resilient am I? Is my business free from interruption? What are the new risks and how can I address them? For leaders, it's really important to have advice on the topic of digital sovereignty, to understand what should be prioritized, if anything, what to prioritize, when to prioritize it, what order to prioritize it in, what budget may be needed to do so, what trade-offs may need to be made, what's reasonable and what's possible. That advice is specialized advice and needs to come from a partner who has actively studied digital sovereignty in a very comprehensive manner and has the ability to give you specialized advice that is neutral and not based on just any one provider and any one provider's assertions or claims. The risks of not doing this is that when your customer or your board asks you, what are you doing for digital sovereignty, you will not be able to answer. Because this is a board level topic, you need to answer the question, how sovereign am I? What is my sovereignty posture today? What am I doing about my digital sovereignty? How can I strengthen my digital sovereignty? How can I make it addressable? Can I see it? Can I score it? Can I strengthen it? These are the questions that need to be answered and need to be answered now, not waiting in 6 months' time. It is a question that customers are validly asking. How can you be sure that you're going to keep continuing without interruption? How can you protect my data? That's why digital sovereignty is important. It's about retaining the confidence of our customers, our staff, our partners and our suppliers. This is why you need specialized advice. Good looks like having a clear understanding of your digital sovereignty posture and having a plan and actioning that plan. It is important to understand that digital sovereignty is not a binary on-off construct. It is a spectrum, something that you can improve, similar to security posture. So good looks like understanding your digital sovereignty, being able to articulate it, what you're doing about it, where you stand today, which areas you have your main risks in, how you're prioritizing those risks, what you may be trading off, what decisions you're making. Essentially, it's about getting to grips with the topic and being able to explain it to your board and to your customers. In order to see progress and understand how your digital sovereignty is being strengthened, it has to live beyond the advisory report. The advisory report will give a clear and tailored roadmap of activities to strengthen your digital sovereignty. I recommend that customers review the progress against that tailored roadmap, that they are sure, are they actually taking the activities, which can be a whole range of activities, to improve their sovereignty, that they're updating at board meetings or senior management meetings, so it's clear to everybody involved that digital sovereignty is a living concept, it is a risk that is under active management, and that the risk is being reduced through the year or maybe even subsequent years through following this tailored roadmap. Customers should then re-baseline at least once a year to understand What is their sovereignty posture now? How has it evolved with changing legislation, changing vendor landscapes, changing capabilities within the technology providers in the region? What is absolutely certain is that the world that we are operating in is highly dynamic and is volatile. So re-baselining a year after your initial assessment will also prove how your sovereignty posture has increased, how your sovereignty has been strengthened through that year, and will recommend any further activities that are needed. Our methodology is very structured across the 8 different dimensions of the EC Sovereignty Cloud framework. But what is different to some other approaches is that we don't go through a questionnaire, some standard questions with the customer. We do make sure to cover all the risk areas, of course, naturally, because we're applying a risk management methodology. But our approach is also grounded in the human side, the human-centric approach, which is where our people will talk to our customers' people to understand not only the risks that may be there on paper, but also the wider context of what's happening, taking into account many nuances and also any potential limitations or opportunities that sovereignty may provide. In this, we also provide coaching to our customers during those conversations about what may be possible. And what's very different to many other organizations is we provide this as a fixed term assignment. It is a short-term assignment at the start to give customers specialized advice and a tailored roadmap. This means that organizations are not wondering how long it will take. It will not be an endless time and materials engagement. Of course, we can do further engagements, go deeper into some areas, but from a board perspective, it is really important to understand your sovereignty and to understand it in the short term. Understand what it is now, in the next few weeks. Where do you sit? There is no point waiting for a report to come out 6 months later. The world is moving too fast. Our service quickly provides a report, quickly provides a direction, and is based on a comprehensive analysis. So this is what makes us different. And it's all about having that quick but comprehensive understanding of your sovereignty posture.